So first we're going to start off with a 15-minute comment period of the public, and that pertains to any of the agenda items tonight. So does anybody have comments that they can make? Yes.
If I may?
Sure.
If there's no mic, I guess I just stand anywhere?
Yeah.
Okay, so Laura Rickey, I was here a month ago and worried about the Duncan project. And I did a month ago, I'll take my mask off and stand back so you can hear me. So I did a month ago identify myself as a Woodstock Town Board member. I should clarify, I'm not here as a town board member. I'm here as a concerned citizen who lives in Woodstock. And I went through that intersection today on the way here, and I had a couple of concerns last time. One, I talked to the Ulster County Planning Board, I talked to the Ulster County Health Department because I had an issue about water, and they solved my water concern because I was concerned about the contamination at the Exxon site that used to be there, and they explained it's been cleaned up by the DEC. The contamination plume went a different way, and the Duncan project is not planning to be making things with water anyway. So the water concern I stated a month ago, I no longer have that concern. The concern I continue to have is the traffic concern, and I tried to get a copy of the traffic report from the New York State DOT. I was unable to get that, so I don't know what their answer is, but I do know that my common sense thought is when you come over the hill, when you come from Woodstock and you're coming to 375 towards 28, you come over the hill, sometimes there's enough traffic backed up from the light itself, you can almost have an accident coming over the hill and, oh, there's a car there you don't expect. I continue to have concerns that cars will flow out of the Duncan establishment and into 375, and I predict it's not a question of if there'll be an accident, I think it'll be when. So from somebody who uses that intersection all the time, I see a traffic concern to putting Duncan there, and I do continue to have that concern. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
Hi, I'm Jen, and I also spoke a month ago. And I'll just repeat my concerns of last month, because I paid much more attention to the traffic situation. And I agree, I concur that it's not if, it's when, and how many accidents are going to happen there. You cannot see going up 28 when the sun is setting, or in the morning when the sun is rising. I mean, it's blinding. Like, it's this. You have to put your hand up to drive. No lie. And when you make that right turn, that ongoing green light to go onto 375, which I imagine they're going to have to change, you know, it's going to be backed up there. There's just not a lot of room to get cars in, and people are not that swift at driving anymore. And then there's the road rage aspect. Like, it just seems like a disaster waiting to happen. And I can't think of it, I wish I could think of it as a nice thing, but. And the other thing I'm concerned about is all the coffee places that we have already, starting with Stewart's, and then Hannaford's, and then all the small mom and pop shops in Woodstock. There's people who have been struggling through the pandemic. I don't know if they're ever going to recover. Many places have closed already, but there are still some coffee shops, and you know, I just think it's unfair to commerce. I mean, I know it's a free world. And again, I wish that I would win Powerball tonight so I could just buy the property and put like a park there and pay this woman her money for her land. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
My name is Ann, and I didn't speak last time, but I was, I don't know how many years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, I was sitting at 375 waiting to turn left onto 28, and I witnessed an accident when a car coming down 28 going towards Kingston wanted to make a turn onto 375. And, you know, and then either he misjudged the speeding car coming the other direction, I don't know exactly, I don't recall because it's been so long ago. But every time I come from Kingston and wanting to turn on 375, I'm always anxious about the cars coming down on 28 the other direction, and I'm always watching them with the turn signals, whether they're gonna, are they gonna wait? Are they gonna let me complete my turn? I don't know what's coming alongside of me, the ones that are going straight ahead. And every time I make that turn, I'm always waiting, anticipating, or I'm driving in anticipation of an accident. And it's the one I witnessed, and it's not the only one I've seen at that intersection. We're really screwed if this goes through. It's just I don't know what to say. It's a no-brainer. It doesn't belong there.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Melissa Gibson, resident of West Hurley, and I wasn't able to be here in person. I did, for the last meeting on August 30th, I did submit my letter. I'm going to read a couple things from my letter, but before I do, I think everyone has done a great job about pointing out all the concerns we have of the hazardous roadways and the traffic concerns that would be created by this project, but also within the footprint of this project. There's a lot of crisscrossing going on that wasn't addressed last time. At the east on Route 28, there are some people that are going to be coming in off of Route 28, coming in the westerly direction. Right at that entrance, at the same time, people who have just gotten their coffee are going to be looking to get out. And then there's people on the outer concentric circle that are coming off of 375 looking to get onto the line to make place their order. So there's that point at which there's three different intentions of vehicles that are going to have to rely on, you go, no, you go. And while that's happening, there could be backup. And you can address that after if I'm wrong, but that's how it reads to me. And I'm already, every day on that road, seeing there's backup and traffic on the hill over 375, and it's blind. You can't see it. So if you're coming from 28 and you're heading north on 375 and you want to go in there, there's not enough time for you to see who's coming through. And if someone's been waiting online for 3 traffic lights, it's going to be difficult. And I just think the bigger picture is, as much as I've heard all the reasons why not to do this, and I'm going to enumerate some of them, or elaborate on some of them more specifically, I want to know, what's the benefit of it? Is this bringing something to our community that's going to make it better for everybody? It was already pointed out that we've got other coffee places, other donut places. I mean, we've got independent business owners who have been with our community through COVID, through Irene, through everything. Why wouldn't a developer go to a Monkey Joe's, for example, and say, hey, there's this great spot. We think it'd be great for coffee. There's a dine-in spot. Let me support you. This is part of a national corporation. And yes, I get independent franchise business ownership. I understand the structure of it. But the money does not go back into the community the way it would if it was independent business ownership. And I don't see the benefit. And I know people keep saying, I want a decent cup of coffee. And what I'm really reading is, I want a donut sitting in my car. And that's okay. No one's saying that out loud, but I think it's not about the coffee. I think it may be about, I don't want to get out of my car, and that's fine. But we were told that it could handle up to 18 vehicles. I don't see it. And if so, it's 18 of those little mini Fiat cars, because I don't really understand. I don't know if it was actually done. If you said, okay, here's a footprint out on the field, we've drawn it out or wherever, let's simulate this. Let's get 18 vehicles of various sizes. The people that are landscape companies that have their trailers behind them. Let's get those in there. Let's get a pack of, big SUVs and can we have these concentric circles going around that are relying on, eye contact for people to let other people go through, and you know, that part in and of itself, it just seems like the due diligence and the feasibility.
Okay, so
Isn't there?
there's a 15-minute comment period. If you're gonna finish the 15-minute comment period, that's gonna be fine. But we're not going over a 15-minute comment.
Okay, this
period.
is the
We
first
have other
morning
people
that,
on
this
the
is the
agenda.
first,
I just want you to be aware.
I appreciate
Okay.
that.
Let me ask if anybody else wants to speak, so we'll know if she can have the 15 minutes.
It's 15 minutes, so how many
How
people are
many-
you gonna have to speak? And you got
How much time is there
over.
left?
You got like 3 minutes left over.
And does anyone like to speak? And please, I can sit down, I'm totally fine. And my letter's in there, it wasn't registered anywhere, but I hope y'all got it. But I just want to say that, like, to the planning board, because I might not have this chance again, this is a bigger picture. This isn't just about Dunkin' Donuts and this one development. This is bigger than this. What do we want our town to be? What do we want it to say? There are plenty of other areas where there are corporations where if you open your eyes and you were dropped in the center of it, you'd be like, well, I could be anywhere. I could be in Georgia, I can be in Alabama, I can be in Virginia, I can be anywhere. We live here because we love the natural resources. We love living in a Catskill, forest preserve. We love all the independent businesses that are here, which are the foundation for a vibrant local living economy, independent businesses. So I guess I just want to say, it looks like this is going to be going through, and if it is, that's, whatever. We've done our best. But to you guys, moving forward, let's please think about what this town can benefit from. Are the people that are coming in to make a buck off of our increased traffic and increased residency? What are they giving back to the community? Has there been any part of this proposal say, yeah, we're going to be making this kind of traffic, but here's what we're going to do to alleviate that. We're going to create a bridge to go over the rail trail, or we're going to, create other public spaces. I just really implore you as a planning board to maintain the sanctity of this neighborhood and this community, that we all are here by choice because we want to live in a place that doesn't look like any town USA. We want it to look like West Hurley and Hurley, New York, and we love living here, and it's out of love for this environment and for everything that the character of this community stands for, that we are fighting so hard for something that seems like it's just about this donuts and coffee, but it's not. It's bigger than that. So please have that in consideration. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're gonna have,
Is there
Something from-
20 seconds left?
excuse me,
Quick comment.
the attorney wants to say one thing.
You made a comment that it looks like this is moving forward. I just want to clarify, nothing's been decided.
That's
Still
good to
part of
know.
we're in the middle of the process.
Thank
And
you.
it's determining whether this is appropriate or not.
Okay, excellent. Thanks.
And I also want the board to keep in mind that Google will definitely put Pine Street as a shortcut detour, and all those people who live in that neighborhood are gonna have cars whizzing down there to avoid that intersection. And they're not gonna be happy about it, because that's exactly what happened on Maverick Road. Like they, Google does that. They tell you all the shortcuts, and then it's all of a sudden a speedway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And what we're gonna hear now is the planner. She's gonna go a little bit about the comprehensive,
Yeah, I just wanted to, sorry,
survey.
you guys, you're really far from us, and with you, good to understand you people everything. I just want to plug that the town of Hurley is undergoing a comprehensive plan review update process. So if you go to the townofhurley.com, or the town of Hurley's website, and you look in the quick links for comprehensive plan, there's a survey, an online survey. There's also hard copies that will be photocopied and placed around the town, and all of that information is on the website. I'm working with the comprehensive plan committee on that, and so the types of feedback that you guys are providing at all of these planning board meetings are really, really, really valuable in the context of a comprehensive plan. So if you guys could just take that survey and then also spread the word to friends and family. Why can't that survey be sent out? I mean, I get.
It has been,
Mailed?
it's been emailed, and it will be, I believe, a hard copy will be mailed out. We're working on getting mailers out now. But I just want to plug it for you.
It's really important to be mailed out, because there are a lot of people who don't.
Yes,
Yeah,
it will
I'm fine
be.
with email, but there are plenty of people who are not, so.
The committee is working on getting them mailed out, yes.
I think it is townofhurley.gov, but townofhurley.com is a political party website.
Oh, thank you, townofhurley.gov. Yeah.
But a lot of people don't have the internet.
I know that, and the hard copies, like I said, hard copies are going out, and they will
hard copies will be available. All of the information is on the website, and the committee is working on getting the hard copies out to like the post office and onto in town hall
It
and
should
things
be
like that.
mailed to every
It will-
resident.
it
You can
will
send me
be.
the tax bills, you can send me that, right?
Yes, things like that will be mailed out. I'm just asking for a little bit of community support as well.
Sure, of course.
Thank you.
And what's the time frame for responding?
It's open-ended. We want as many responses as we possibly can get, and we're not going to make any recommendations in the comprehensive plan until we feel like a significant number of people in the town have responded to the survey.
Okay, so at this point, we're going to move on to our first applicant, which is the Hurley Planning Site Plan. And if you would, as planner, go over the, past, present, and future.
Sure. Well, I can't tell the future. But we did, so the site plan itself, from a planning perspective, from the landscaping and signage perspective, there are a few still outstanding things that's in our memo, easy to read, about the sign, which is still showing an internally lit monument sign. It is a more appropriate monument size, but the external lighting and contextual materials like stone or wood that were suggested by the ARB and also by Ulster County Planning have not really been incorporated into the plan. And in addition, the lighting to the north of the property still does not adhere to the dark sky standards. And so the board can discuss, whether or not the lighting in that area is appropriate. But I do think that the bigger issue is related to the memorandum that we received from the town's traffic engineering consultant, who reviewed. So he did a couple of analyses. The first analysis was the queue observations from Route 375 going north and south, and Creighton Manning was able to place a video recording, a video to capture the recording of the southbound queue on 375 approached the intersection, and our consultants watched that video. There were 3 days that they watched the video for. So it was observed that the longest queue, the AM peak hour, was 8 vehicles, and queues ranged from 3 vehicles to 8 vehicles, and that length occurred 18 times during the recorded 1 hour period in the morning peak hour.
What was the hour, sorry?
The AM peak hour was, so it was Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Friday, so August 27th, and then Friday, August 27th, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., and then Saturday, August 28th, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. So the longest PM peak hour was 11 vehicles, with queues ranging from 3 to 11, occurring 41 times during the recorded 1 hour period. And the longest queue observed during the Saturday peak hour was 6 vehicles, ranging from 3 to 6 vehicles, and that occurred 11 times during the recorded 1 hour period in the morning. And our engineer notes that the number of times the driveway is blocked by southbound queues during peak hours are significant and will result in long queues of existing eastbound Dunkin' Donuts traffic and long queues of northbound left turn entering Dunkin' Donuts traffic at the intersection of New York State 375 and Dunkin' Donuts proposed access, as has been observed. These queues will result in traffic congestion, traffic circulation issues, and safety concerns, both in the Dunkin' Donuts site and on New York State Route 375. The applicant should show mitigations, measures to mitigate these conditions. So that kind of confirms the concerns with the queue lengths blocking that area. And I would add, I don't know, and I didn't see, yeah, I'm still going to. I would add, in terms of that 375 corridor, I don't know that site distance was actually looked at, going north on 375 if you were to make a left at that point, but that may be something that the board might want to be further looked at if there is a blind spot from that hill. I don't know that it's been looked at, so have to be confirmed. Secondly, the engineer looked at drive-through queue observations. So that's the 18 vehicle queue drive-through. He observed 3 different N&P conducted drive-through queue observations at the following existing Dunkin' Donuts facility in Ulster County. One at on 138 Ulster Ave in Saugerties, with an average annual daily traffic of approximately 12,000 vehicles per day. A Dunkin' Donuts located at 1285 Ulster Avenue in Kingston, and that has an AADT of approximately 27,000 vehicles per day. So I'd have to ask the applicant where 375 is in terms of AADT. Do you know what that is?
Interstate Route 28, which is the major roadway, has an AADT of about 16,000 vehicles a day.
Okay.
For 375, I can get you that answer. I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay. So these uses tend to attract pass-by traffic, so the average annual daily traffic volume is the volume that they look at to see how many people would divert off the roadway to go to Dunkin' Donuts. So
Is that
these
both
are,
ways? Was that both ways? Because I know
Yes.
only 16,000 both ways on that 28.
Yes, ma'am, that's combined average daily volume.
I'm just comparing that to the Saugerties 27,000. Okay.
yeah, exactly. So it should also be noted that the big difference is that this applicant is proposing 2 queues and no seating inside the building, and that is unique to this particular building, and there isn't anything like that in Ulster County. So the analysis looked at all of the cars in the parking lot coming and going to understand what the queue would be, the maximum queue for each of these sites. So, in conclusion, the observed queues at the existing Dunkin' Donuts facility are longer than the proposed 18-vehicle drive-through lane. The applicant should provide a justification that the proposed 18-vehicle drive-through lane will be adequate to support the anticipated drive-through queues at the proposed site. So at both sites, they observed longer queues with similar comparable average annual daily travel. So the concern is that the 18-vehicle drive-through lane may not actually be long enough. The other question is whether there are efficiencies built into this particular site because there are 2 menu boards. We haven't been provided the data to understand whether the queues are more efficient at this particular site compared to other sites because there are 2 menu boards that may be moving people through at a faster rate. So that's something that our engineer knows as well. I'm just looking at his conclusions and on-site traffic and circulation. From a review of the site plan, Dunkin' Donuts traffic accessing the drive-thru from 375 will have to go around the building and will conflict with the vehicles entering the site from New York State Route 28 and vehicles exiting the drive-thru. This will create site circulation issues on the site. So again, the applicant should provide measures to improve these traffic safety and on-site circulation issues. And then finally, an auto turn analysis on the site plan should be shown that shows a dump truck and other trucks like food delivery, UPS, FedEx, etc., can adequately maneuver throughout the site during garbage pickup and deliveries. So that should be clearly demonstrated on the plan. So, I mean, in conclusion, I think there are still some outstanding engineering questions from our engineer, and to the board to discuss, and, to the applicant to maybe indicate if any additional analysis can be provided or mitigations can be shown on the next plans.
Can I ask a question?
So this is not time for the public to discuss with the planning board. This is the planning board to discuss with the applicant. And you can save your questions and possibly afterwards, but not right now. So I'm going to go down to the end. Peter McKnight, do you have questions that you'd like to ask the applicant? Things that you did not see in the package that was received from the applicant?
Not at this time.
Okay. Wayne?
I'd like to take a visit over there and get this temporarily fixed and just see where the cars are gonna go in and out, and take a little site visit if we can.
Tony?
Oh, you're going down this end? Yeah, I'm still concerned about the queuing on 375 with people going into the facility from 375 and then trying to get back onto 375 when the light is red. Also, there's issues associated with this application, comments made by the Ulster County Planning Board about traffic congestion. And again, the stuff that Adriana just brought up, that was found in the survey done by Nelson Pope. So I'm still concerned about that.
Carl?
No comment.
Okay. So there was something that was brought up by one of the citizens, Hurley, and she's sitting here tonight. There was a code that was used, and I haven't received or seen any new count based on the new code that was, I think you used it as a drive-through, but this, the code that you used was a sit-in or a walk-up, and that was the wrong code. So did you get a chance to get the new numbers to provide the planning board?
The citizen was correct in pointing that out, but as we discussed with Nelson Pope's traffic engineer, the code 937 that we used is the best option because the code 938, which is studies a coffee donut shop with drive-through only, studied sites that were 90 square feet. So this site being 900 square feet, you apply the square footage of what is being proposed, you would get outlandish numbers that even Nelson Pope's traffic engineer agreed were not representative of what the site would see. And furthermore, regarding trip generation for the site, coffee shops, donut shops are usually driven by pass-by traffic, which means that they're not necessarily going to be picking up or bringing new traffic to the roadways. Now, they will be bringing traffic in as pass-by vehicles, but they're not going to be introducing new trips to the roads. So yes, the citizen that indicated that is correct, but as was discussed with Nelson Pope's traffic engineer, we agree with the land use that was used, land use code 937 that was used.
Okay, so the traffic study analysis that was completed by the Nelson Pope Voorhees professional had a major discrepancy with Dunkin' Donuts proving that the traffic can be safely managed by 375, right? I'm going to point right here, okay? Because you got cars coming from Woodstock looking to go on 28, and you got cars that want to come out and go left on 375, which is not going to happen because everybody's in a rush to go to work. And you got cars coming in at a high speed from 28, and they're not stopping because they're going, okay? There's no stop sign, there's no yield sign, there's no nothing there. So speed limit, I think, is 45 on that road?
Yeah.
So for you to dart out onto the road, it's unsafe. So, how can you safely manage and control that particular intersection, okay? When I say intersection, not 28 and 375, because there's a control lane there. I'm talking about the intersection where you're pulling onto 375 from the proposed exit and entrance to Hurley Duncan, okay? And then also, I didn't see anything about any kind of, so you're in the queue. Oh, I got a call, my son is in the hospital, I gotta go get my son. I gotta get out of the queue. I don't have time for Dunkin' Donuts, friend, I gotta go. What plan is there to leave the circle to get out? And vehicles that break down in the circle?
There's actually a bypass lane all the way around.
That's true, but if it's filled, then what?
Well, our analysis shows that not being filled. The 18 cars still leaves that driveway all the way around the perimeter open. You just got 18 cars in there, and there's still a bypass lane.
In a perfect environment, right?
Well, no, with 18 cars, I mean, it's sort of laid out. There's another lane, other than the cars all stacked up.
What about the other cars coming in?
Well, yeah, sure, you have movement all the time, but it's not like you have 18 cars in there and then there's absolutely no other room. There's another whole lane all the way around.
Right, so when cars are moving around from the inner circle to the outer circle and there's nobody there, next thing you know, someone zooms in from 28
Well, I'm
and
just
they hit that
answering your
person,
question.
now they block the road.
I'm just asking you a question. If somebody
Yeah.
wants to jump out of the line, there's an empty lane to the right of them, they just go into that.
So what we're saying is that, bottom line is the analysis shows that there's got to be something to prove that you can, that traffic can be safely managed, okay, in that location and controlled. Because according to that analysis, it can't be,
So
not at this point.
the longest queue that was observed by our traffic engineer was 21 vehicles at the Saugerties location, which is the one with 12,000 vehicles per day, which is a lower average annual than the one on Ulster Avenue in Kingston. So I wonder, Lisa, can you scroll down to the image with the queuing? So there should be a plan that shows the queuing. I just wonder, and I'm not a traffic engineer, so I'm really asking Creighton Manning, if it would be possible to add some parts, add an overflow scenario. That's the one. Can you zoom out a little?
I do think regarding the queuing on 375, unless you would like to go through the comments first and then we can discuss them, or would you prefer to do?
Just the answer to the question is
Answer this one.
Hey, John.
Yes.
So we're stacking 18, the most you observe is 21. Are you asking for us to show the overflow of 3 cars?
yeah, or should, so how many, so it's, I'm having trouble seeing this. Can you zoom in one more time? I'm so sorry. One,
I do think it's important also to indicate that the 21 cars, that was arrived at by counting cars in the drive-through and cars that parked and for people that entered the site. Now, discussions with Dunkin' operators, they'll say that sometimes a person will park and come into the site just to use the restroom and then leave. They didn't purchase a food item or a beverage item. So, I mean, the 21 queue count, it may or may not be, correct. It's an assumption, which how your engineer developed that number, or counted that number.
So does Dunkin' plan on closing both driveways for the snow plow during the day, 10 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, because snow happens all day here, right? It doesn't snow, 9 at night until 3 o'clock in the morning, and we just gotta clean up our snow. It's gotta be done all day. So what do you do for snow removal and all the cars that are in there, and the slush that's being thrown around, the cars sliding all over the place? What kind of plan do you have for that?
What's no different than any other Dunkin' Donuts or?
No, this Dunkin' Donuts is over here. This is your proposed location, and it has an intersection that people want to go left towards Woodstock and come in from 28. They can't stop. And if you guys have a truck there coming around and doing plowing, then that car could possibly strike that vehicle. And then, now you're talking about vehicles stopping, because now the police are gonna come. You're gonna have, automatically, when the police are dispatched to an accident, fire truck, ambulance, all those vehicles. So everything's gonna be blocked.
Obviously, under that circumstance, they would have to close the store for that period of time until the accident is cleared, no different than an accident on a highway.
Yeah, I feel like that is not a question regarding the Dunkin' Donuts, that's a question regarding the actual site itself.
Well, this is the traffic flow.
I mean, that issue occurs at every site.
Right.
You know, you look at Stewart's, I mean, you got people coming and going, they're trying to remove snow.
I haven't, I'm sorry, but I haven't sat in the Stewart's site plan review. I'm sitting here.
I'm just pointing out that concern you have about snow removal while there's traffic occurs everywhere. It's not unique to this site. You know, I mean, that sometimes is a conflict. And, I've seen it myself, you go pull into a site and they're trying to plow snow and, it's just a situation that everybody has to deal with in the winter months.
So, one of the other things is, 87 is considered a major feeder route. Is that true? Major arterial.